Well, hey everybody, it is episode 4 of the Small Space Living series. So far we have tackled kitchen cabinets and drawers, and then the pantry, and then the fridge, and now we have moved to the bathroom. So we are gonna talk all things bathroom. We're gonna talk cabinets, we're gonna talk linen closets. So sit down, relax, and let's do some bathroom organizing together.
Okay, so I want to start out by saying, just disclaimer, this is not what I would consider a small bathroom. This is called the Small Space Living series. We do live in a small home, but for whatever reason, this end of the house was given a very large bathroom. If you're new here, we remodeled this home, and originally there was a large garden tub here that we knew that we would never use, and so we ended up taking that out. So now we have all of this extra space that we can use for something. Maybe we can do like a cool bench seat with storage underneath, something like that. But right now we just haven't done anything because we haven't made that decision. Also, I need you guys to let me know what you would do as far as window treatments if this was your bathroom. Yes, we currently don't have anything on the windows, and it's fine. You know, we're pretty isolated, we're pretty secluded, but of course you want something on your windows. Initially, I was thinking shades, but the one thing about that is we don't have window sills. As you can see, these are flush with the wall. So just let me know in the comments what you would do for window treatments here.
All right, so the top of the shelf is pretty cluttered, but this is how we are currently dealing with not having a linen closet or a medicine cabinet, anything of that type. So we have our 2 vanities, which of course we're very thankful for, but there's no sort of shelving, closet, anything like that. So eventually I want to do something different. I don't love everything being, an open shelf, but part of living intentionally and frugally is using what you have. This shelf unit was something that we already had. In our prior home, we used this in our walk-in closet to store shoes. Well, our closets here don't accommodate that, and that's kind of a sneak peek as to what I'll be talking about next. But I just wanted to kind of show you, this is where we keep towels, washcloths, hand towels, a couple rolls of toilet paper there, and then bathing suits down there at the bottom. Okay, so I want to start out by talking about the fact that not everybody has to keep their bathroom counter the same. So currently I have some products out. Some people prefer their bathroom counter to be absolutely free of products. Some people keep everything out that they ever use and they don't mind. Right now I have the things out that I use just in the morning for skincare, in the evening for skincare, and then of course hand soap. So this is what it looks like currently. It would definitely look prettier if I had my hand soap and my face soap in matching bottles, like glass bottles. Maybe one day, but not today. All right, so I want to show you the cabinets because it's not bad, but I do think it could use a little bit of a makeover. So we're kind of going to look at the before and after like we did with the fridge, and I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I'm going to change. All right, here is a real and unedited look at the cabinet down below. So you can see on the right-hand side, I have this wire organizer. Whenever we moved in, I knew I wanted something kind of like this. You could also create the same effect with drawers, like those Sterilite drawers. I just knew that it would have to be certain measurements to fit around the piping. So actually I found this set of 3. They were nestled inside each other at my local thrift store, and I think I paid $3 for them. So the way I kind of have them organized are that the top shelf are really my daily things. And then below that, I have hair care things. And then below that are things that I access, but not as often. Inside this basket is where I keep all of my heat tools, and I'm going to talk about some changes I'd like to make there. And then over to the left, I have things that I really don't pull from very much at all, but sometimes I do, and I want them there.
All right, so before we make some improvements, I decided to take a trip to the thrift store. And what I wanted to show you were some various containers. Now, some of these might not be aesthetically what I want. They may not be, something that fits my style or my color palette, but I just wanted to really encourage you to look at anything that might be useful for storage. This silverware container could easily be used to hold cosmetics or hair care products. Again, this is intended, I think, to be like a silverware and napkin caddy, but you could easily put, hairbrushes and different things like that in here. So whenever you are looking for containers at the thrift store, I just want to encourage you to think outside of the box. Pun definitely intended. So in the end, these are the things that I came home with. I got this sectioned plate. Obviously, I think this is supposed to be for food, but I'm going to see if I can use this for storage in the bathroom cabinet. It's a very heavy ceramic piece, and you can see I paid $1 for that. And then in addition to that, I got this little basket. I think I might have paid $1 for this, and you can tell it has a clear liner that was intended for a plant. So I think I'm just going to remove that and then use this in some way. I'll go ahead and show you the other few things that I got. I got a set of plastic measuring cups. I'm going to keep these in my laundry area for when I'm using vinegar and things like that. And then I just picked up an extra hand sanitizer. So my original plan was to wash that liner and put it back in the basket, but it was in there so tight that once I took it out, it basically kind of cracked and fell apart. So I just decided to forego the liner. So now I'm just washing this ceramic piece and getting it ready for using in the bathroom.
Okay, so let's just talk about my approach for a minute. The thing that I like to ask myself when I'm organizing a bathroom space is, what would I pack with me going on a weekend trip? If I wouldn't take it on a weekend trip, then it doesn't need to have a place of priority right up front. Think top drawer, think the top of your cabinet, or easy to reach, whatever kind of storage solution you have. If you wouldn't take it with you on a weekend trip, you probably don't need it right up front, and you might not need it at all. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can make things a little better in here. All right, so these were the two things I ended up purchasing at the thrift store. I do like to be a little bit careful about what things I buy to go under a sink area, just because water does happen under a sink. So in this little container is where I've been keeping two things and a couple of hair ties. I'm going to try putting them in here because this doesn't actually, it will fit sideways, but I tend to put it this way. I don't know, I'm just gonna play around with it. I do like how lightweight this is, as opposed to this is heavy and it's ceramic, so it is breakable should this, tip over. But we're just gonna play around here. This is my makeup bag. It holds all of my everyday makeup. A lot of times I will do makeup in the car if I'm on the go, and so this just helps me to keep things where I need them. Another note while we're talking about it, I keep my nail clippers in here as opposed to with all of the rest of my nail polish supplies. The reason for that is because I am a musician, and oftentimes when I notice that my nails need to be trimmed, it's when I'm on the go, and a lot of times I have this bag with me on the go. I'm much more likely to have this with me than I am my nail polish kit. So that's kind of why I chose to keep this here.
This series has been such fun for me, and it has been very eye-opening to me. One thing that I have noticed is the importance of leaving margin to work on one area at a time. Sometimes I think personally I am too busy to even think through why things are the way that they are. And then when I stop and look at how things are functioning, I'm able to think more clearly. Am I happy with this? Is this serving me well? Can I move things around like I'm doing here and do some trial and error to try to make my life better with this one small area?
All right, so my investments in this project were, what, $1.50, $2, and a little bit of work and time. So let's see what it looks like now. Okay, so if you'll notice, not a huge difference. It doesn't look like the Container Store, but it's very functional. Let me show you what I've done. All right, so this shelf is basically the same, except for you saw I moved some personal care items to that basket, and then I still have my makeup bag here. I still have deodorant tucked back here. I ended up deciding that I really like this. I don't love necessarily the way that it looks, but I love that I can pull it out and use the things that are in here, and then I can just put it right back. That really has worked well, and so I decided to keep that there, and instead I put that little new ceramic dish down here. I have two of those Verb hair care products. I talked about those in my February reset video, and I will link that down below. I have another self-care product there, and then I have a couple different kinds of hair accessories. And then my wet brush, which I also mentioned in my February reset. I have two clips here. I also have a third one that's a beige color, and I think maybe it's in my purse. And then there's a headband. and then I took the Q-tips and I put them in here, and then the rest of them are just tucked back there at the very back, and I can refill them when I need to. This is jewelry that I don't wear very often, but if I want to pull from it, there it is. And then here are my other two brushes. This has stayed basically the same. Honestly, I could reduce this down to just my hair dryer and this largest curling wand. This was thrifted. I also have a smaller blue one. Where is it? I also have a smaller blue one that is just like it, that is thrifted. And I really like the texture that the big one gives my hair. But I do have these other tools that it's nice to have them just as a backup. But I thought I could potentially move them somewhere else. Like I could even put the ones that I don't use very often like back there at the back, because really I'm only using this and this most of the time, this one and this one. So we'll see. Over here, nothing really changed. Like I said, I don't access these things very much, and I don't mind the way that they look. So they are just staying as they are. One thing I'd like to do as I'm working on my sewing skills is make some little almost straps that have a button and a hole that I could keep the cords kind of neat and keep everything together. So that's a thought. And then another thing I wanted to do that I just haven't found is I think it'd be nice to have like a cutting board or shelf liner or something that was really the texture of a flexible cutting board would be perfect, like in a clear. And I'd like to kind of line these just because if I do have something small, it can fall down in these holes, and sometimes that happens. But anyway, there's a look at how it's looking now. I'm really pleased with it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the second to last video in this series. So I'm gonna be doing one more, and I'm gonna be talking about closets. And then from there, we will begin a series of a different type. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.